What's up, y'all? I go with FLOWTOX. Out here running on the southwest side of Chicagoland. And if it wasn't official already, I guess it's official. Congress is quite curious about the unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, aka unidentified flying objects, UFOs. So yeah, any of you not quite familiar with what it's being called these days, UFOs are now UAPs and are recognized by the federal government. And Congress yesterday having Fravor and friends testify on what they've seen. It's official. There is technology that has been witnessed by aviation professionals that far exceed the capabilities of our current propulsion systems and whatnot. And I think the conclusion that I always draw with UFOs is, well, I do think UFOs are real, and that the federal government and governments across the world have collected artifacts, perhaps bodies, ships, and that collection happened maybe a century ago, if not more, and that technology has been reverse engineered and captured by military contractors. And I do believe much of what we see, or much of what is seen today as far as UAPs and UFOs, are man-made vessels of quote-unquote unrecognized technology. Sort of a great fear of mine, and it falls into a global cabal conspiracy, as Yuval Noah Harari would call it. I do perhaps believe that if the proposed situation that I just mentioned is true, that the government has captured ships, has recovered ships, perhaps other life forms, and kept it under wraps, reverse engineered it, and are now utilizing that technology in clandestine skunk work, rocket programs or whatever, propulsion programs. If the government is doing that, and that most of the UAPs that we're seeing today are a result of that military program, per se, what are we doing with this technology? What do we know that, as far as energy systems and propulsion systems go, what do we know that are not being utilized across the whole of humanity, supporting our infrastructure and renewing it? if we have these propulsion systems that travel in such a way and use such and such as an energy force, why isn't this being divulged by those who are uncovering it as exciting news for humanity? But it's kept under wraps. And I'm curious about why they keep it under wraps. And if they're keeping it under wraps, what might be their motives in using this technology at that point then? If we have these tic-tac, if we own, build, and operate these tic-tac UAPs, these spherical spheres inside of cube UAPs, what are we doing with the technology other than building probably larger weapons of our own destruction? And who is operating these ships is another big question. Are they drones? Are they being operated? Human operated? I do doubt that the human body could sustain flying in a ship that we are seeing, the tic-tac ships or the spherical ships. I very much doubt that a human being is inside of those. But if they are mostly man-made ships through military contracts that we're seeing, would it make sense that these humans are also supplying the manpower for these ships as well? I do fear at points what Reza Jorjani has called the breakaway civilization. Breakaway civilization in which the major technological advancements that we suppose would be uncovered from reverse engineering UAPs and UFOs would be great leaps for humanity into the future. This technology would help us expand in ways that, we would see fit. But if we're not making this technology public information, if we're not advertising it, if we're keeping it under wraps as military programs, what is, if we're doing all of this, if we're keeping all this technology, where is it going to? As we see the accumulation of wealth among billionaires in the world has increased, and these corporations, many of these tech corporations around the world go unchecked, and their technology is often an obscure topic to regulators and federal officials who don't know how to approach these complicated technical subjects. So we're not asking the right questions. Our officials aren't asking the right questions to the professionals. And the professionals, well, I don't know. So I worry about a breakaway civilization in which the people who control this technology and who control the billions and who control the tech will break away from the mass population of the world and protect themselves and break away to create another branch of humanity. And I don't know, maybe we do have alien beings flying these ships actively in our atmosphere. Maybe our civilization is already penetrated with alien beings that we have no idea of recognizing. And I'd rather that be the case than that of the UAPs being man-made and run by clandestine military operations. I'd rather be infiltrated by an alien race than to fund black ops that are gonna only support a few. Anyways, that's it. UFOs are real. UAPs are real. Alien life is probably real. Is real. Alien life here on Earth at some point throughout Earth's history is probably real. Alien life being actively present here on Earth today. I don't know. Maybe. More to come. Peace and love. I Feigl. FLOWTOX.